oh my god, what is going on right here? And it appears the son-in-law and mother-in-law relationship has just gotten to another level. It's almost giving flirting right now. So this is what happened. Evelyn posted a video of herself, and she was looking good. She's a beautiful woman, and she said, "Mom's out, healthy hair glow. We do not play about self-care." Now, the top that she was wearing inside of that blazer was a little bit revealing, and I feel like it's a platform, right? It is her post, it's her Instagram, she can post whatever she wants to, but for the game to actually come underneath that particular post and say something, I don't know, you guys. So this is what he said. He said, "You are someone's grandmother. Cover up for Christ's sake." Okay. And I know it was a joke. Probably, he put some laughing emojis, but it's just giving me inappropriate. Like, I don't know. I just feel bad for her daughter. Do you guys think that it's appropriate for Game to be underneath Evelyn's comment section, commenting the way that he does? Or if you watched the podcast episode that I'm talking about, did you pick on the weird energy that was on there? It's ridiculous in my own opinion. And I don't think that that girl is actually comfortable with him doing that, given also the age difference between the girl and the Game, as well as the possibility of Game wanting Evelyn. And I think there have been rumors actually that initially he was eyeing Evelyn. And on top of that, he had a relationship with someone deemed to be Evelyn's friend. Well, she denied that, oh, we never close and stuff like that. But, people kind of saw them hanging together, and, they are of the same age group. So that in itself would mean that age-wise, Evelyn wouldn't be ruled out to be with this man. And for him to pick that picture of all pictures to go and comment under and make jokes about, it's weird. But then again, I'm just African, you guys. Maybe I'm too strict. Please let me know in the comment section, you guys. If you were the daughter, how would you feel about such an interaction between your mom and your husband? Is that something that is common? Am I just being too uptight? Cultures do differ. Maybe to some of you guys, this is the norm. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me know in the comment section, especially if you have also watched that podcast episode. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Chris Brown and what TMZ is reporting. Sadly, it appears that he has been a target, amongst others, of another pew-pewing incident. TMZ is reporting that, pew-pew noises were heard outside of his residence, and it wasn't a woman involved, allegedly, and that the person who actually, put out the pew-pew was dismissing the woman who was refusing to leave the residence. But fortunately, he was not at home when all of this happened. And of course, people are beginning to question what exactly is happening with these celebrities. It was Rihanna, it became this person, it became that person. Like, what's truly going on behind the scenes? And of course, people are discussing about who might be behind all these attacks. Now, I will say that it's very interesting to me how it is certain people that are clearly being targeted. From Rihanna, if you have noticed lately how she has been moving, she hasn't really been messing with a certain, group of people. And the same with Chris Brown. I mean, that same group of people even tried to cancel him. If you look at Nicki Minaj and the targeting, it appears that all this is happening to people that don't mess with the executives and the gatekeepers in Hollywood. And also that coming after, he announced his album, and that coming after his tour with Asha being announced. I don't know. It's just the timing is very questionable. Let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think this is. Do you think that this was meant to be a warning to him, to unsettle him before he goes on that tour, okay? Because you do know that Hollywood, I feel like sometimes when they are persistent, when it comes to targeting a person, it's not even about the initial reason anymore. It becomes like a power trip, an ego trip where, they feel like they have to prove a point to that person that we have the power and authority to dictate what happens to your career. Because you cannot tell me that after all these years, this obsession with canceling Chris Brown and stuff like that is still about that situation with Rihanna. I don't think so. I think more than anything, it is about teaching him a lesson and, trying to make sure that their power is felt, even by other artists outside of Chris Brown. Because if they go easy on him, that's also indirectly sending a message to other artists that, you can get away with messing with the gatekeepers of the music industry. And I kind of get the same energy with the Tory Lanez situation. I feel like more than anything, it was also about sending a message to other artists to say, you don't mess with us. Because if you do go back, that if you go down that rabbit hole, you will realize that Tory Lanez refused to sign with, a certain record label, and he was doing his thing independently. He was selling his music, was breaking records by himself independently. And if there is anything about the gatekeepers, they don't like that independence. So they had to teach him a lesson one way or the other. So that entire Bongo 2 situation happened. But when you dig deeper, you will realize that had he been signed to any one of those record labels, they probably would have protected him the same way they did with Mikisha. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj and Justin are out there teaching people a lesson, okay? Their song Beauty and a Beat is out there. I know, okay? It's annoying people, okay? The haters are not happy with that because it has absolutely refused to move from the Spotify number one, from the number one spot, I mean, on the global Spotify chart. And it is still there with 7.64 million streams. And allegedly, this is now the 17th day of them sitting at number one. And this is absurd to me because they didn't even have, okay, Nicki didn't even have to do anything. And that's how much powerful her discography is. And we have been saying this for a very long time. I saw someone commenting that Nicki Minaj is a menace because she made sure to collaborate with a lot of, pop artists so that even if you try to cancel her, you cannot because at some point you have to play that collaboration between herself and those pop artists. So, that person was basically saying she was playing in people's faces. She made sure to collaborate with anyone before coming out as MAGA. I thought that was very hilarious because really, truly, who would have thought that in 2026, Beauty and a Beat would be out there dominating the charts like this? Speaking about Spotify, it is being reported that they have also removed this month again some botted streams from certain artists. Now, I will not mention artists by name, but it appears that the same, group of artists continue being, affected by this. And I'm just like, I mean, if it's botting, don't you guys give up? Why do you continuously buy bots for them to be flagged by Spotify? I don't understand the logic behind that. At some point, you've got to give up. Why would you continue investing your money in those bot farms when you know Spotify is still going to flag and remove all your fake streams? And it's very funny to me how almost all the allegedly cancelled people never ever get affected by this. But it is those people that are deemed successful, those people that are deemed being, at the top of the game. Those are the same people that are getting affected by these streams. You know what? Let's talk about something else. Now let's talk about Advocate BBL. At this point, I'm kind of convinced that people have no shame because the play is very clear at this point. Because tell me, what are the odds that Advocate BBL would randomly be asked about the title swindler? Like, what link do those people have? And it appears since Nicki Minaj started coming directly for the title swindler, Advovo BBL is full of nothing but praises for the title swindler now. It's pathetic. Like when you actually do pay attention, it's sad, man. It's sad. Imagine having to overly align yourself with anybody that seems to be with another human being. Imagine your worst enemy shaping your relationships or shaping or dictating who you're going to cozy up to or who you're going to pander to. At what point does it stop? At what point does it become embarrassing? Because all of a sudden, now you're sampling him, now you're doing this. It's so predictable at this point. And for everyone who tries to act, oh, she's not thinking about Nikki, sorry, she definitely is. For those of you who try to play gullible and act like you don't see what's going on, please stop it. This is obsession at its highest. Before Nicki was coming directly at Jay-Z, we never saw this woman, Jay-Z, this Rock Nation, this blah blah. We never saw that happening. She is pandering even harder than Bongo 2 does. Bongo 2 herself was even directly affiliated with Fraudulent Nation, does not even pander to this extent. She was pandering so hard that when she was promoting her own AK line, that she had convinced the people she uses herself. She found herself saying that she uses Sacred whilst promoting her own AK product line. That's how much more she's now obsessed with the Catters since Nicki Minaj fell out with them publicly. If that's not insanity, I really truly do not know what is. Because out of all the people, it is the title swindler that you are being asked about. Now, some people are even speculating that they wouldn't be surprised if, when he's doing these shows and stuff like that, he decides to bring it out. Now, that would be very hilarious. For someone who was just in an interview, doing an interview and telling artists that you should, rap about things that make sense for your age. For him to bring out Advocate BBL would just be very funny to me. It would be hilarious because nothing that Advovo BBL says or does resonates with having multiple children and still acting like a bird. Like nothing about that says grown. So please, I hope he doesn't do that nonsense, okay? And as for Advocate BBL, I hope she finds peace and I hope she's able to forge relationships with people out of, genuine love and not out of spite. Speaking about people who are forming relationships with people out of spite, okay, I wanted to talk about another person, but maybe let's cover it in the next video because there's a lot that I have to uncover surrounding that topic. So for now, let's leave it at that. And let's talk about Akademiks and Joe Budden because tell me why Akademiks is out there calling his friend Joe Budden for the frivolous Drake lawsuit that he was out there reading like it's groundbreaking. It is a good thing, when other mainstream media personalities are calling out their peers for the BS, okay? Because with Joe Budden, for someone who acts like he's above talking about lawsuits, I mean, everything that happened with the title swindler, with the files, he acted like he doesn't care about that. His go-to would be, oh my God, this is not about music. We don't care anymore. We don't care about that at all. It's not about that. I will not talk about. He flat out refused to address or to talk about anything the title swindler related when it comes to the lawsuit lawsuits. But when it came to that lawsuit pertaining to a company that Drake has worked with, of course, he had all the energy. He had all the energy reading it like it means something, spinning the narrative, propelling the narratives. And this is why I'm just like, a lot of these men, I'm just like, how do you sleep at night knowing this is what you're doing? Like, oh wow, no integrity whatsoever. What is this? But I'm glad that they are calling each other to book. Okay, I will see if I can insert what academics had to say, because there's a lot of mention of the of that company and what it promotes. So YouTube does not play when it comes to that. So I may not be able to insert that if there is a consistent use of that word. The stuff that normally happens in Vegas. Okay, but anyway, that being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post, okay? And drop a comment. Leave a comment, because we are cutting our videos. I'm still under punishment from YouTube because of